We're 14 chapters deep. Let's talk about the story so far. Before we hop into this discussion on Four Knights of the Apocalypse and how it's doing so far, tell me, what do you think about Four Knights of the Apocalypse so far in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that come up on the channel. Now, let's get into it. What's up guys, I got the pencil here, and here we are to talk about Four Knights of the Apocalypse and its story so far. Yes, I'm ripping off Kingdom Hearts again, because yes, I'm sorry, it's always going to be a subconscious part of my channel. Like, yeah, if y'all know any of the music that's in the background, like half of it's Kingdom Hearts and half of it's Fire Emblem. Like, y'all gotta know the struggle, bro. Like, it's too wait, what am I here for? But actually, Four Knights of the Apocalypse, let's get into that. So, I actually really like Four Knights of the Apocalypse so far. Is it as good as Seven Deadly Sins? Yes, but in an entirely different way, because upon rereading the first 14 chapters of Seven Deadly Sins, I was initially going to make this a comparison video because I knew Golden Week was coming up, so there wasn't going to be a chapter this week, so I was like, you know what, I might as well discuss how I think the two compare to each other and stuff like that. But then I realized, well, these are two similar but very different stories, because like, if you look at the basics of them, we have this group of people who are heading towards Leonis for a purpose. That's about it. But at the same time, that's not really even the case, because the original gang was actually looking for all the Seven Deadly Sins. Meanwhile, they're just trying to get to Leonis and Four Knights of the Apocalypse. So we're in two completely different stories, two completely different times, two completely different types of characters. We have characters that are new to the world with one person who's knowledgeable among them versus one character who's new to the world versus a talking pig and a barman who knows everything about the world and then some. So honestly, I do think two a bit too dissimilar to compare. Which do I like more? I see, it's weird to say, because once again, this is a sequel to Seven Deadly Sins, and I like the mystery present in Seven Deadly Sins, like what in the world was going on. But at the same time, I do like the mystery present in Four Knights of the Apocalypse, because now that I have like context for the world, now that I know a good chunk about the Seven Deadly Sins world, I'm asking even more, what the heck is going on? So from a mystery perspective, I think I'm gonna have to give the edge to Four Knights of the Apocalypse, and thus for beginning of a story, I would have to give the edge to Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Since I know so much, I want to know more. I think that's very good for a series, especially a sequel series, which is set in an already really well established world. So honestly, I will give the edge to Four Knights of the Apocalypse. It does grab my interest just a bit more, but that's because it's coming off the foundation of a sequel series. If I was in a void and somehow didn't read Four Knights of the Apocalypse and just read if I was in a void and I didn't read Seven Deadly Sins and I just read Four Knights of the Apocalypse, like Nakaba recommends you can do, then maybe it'd be a completely different story. But at the moment, I know a bit too much about Seven Deadly Sins and I can't exactly suppress that. But enough of that. Let's actually talk about things I like in the story so far. So, I do think Percival's good. I have some issues with him being Kid Goku, but at the same time, he does enough with the archetype that I'm mostly fine with it, especially because of all the mystery Percival carries. Like, what the heck is he? What the heck is his magic? What the heck is going on? Like, that's the thing. I keep asking myself, what the heck is he? And I think that's a good thing, because to be fair, we just thought Melios was a human off rip. Like, until we started seeing the demonic signs, I don't think anyone really made the leaping conclusion, I guess, for the fact that he looks the same after 10 years. Like, if y'all were that big brain at the start of Seven Deadly Sins when Twigo mentioned that he looks the same after all these years, and then instantly fat brain that to him being a Demon Clan member, then shout outs to y'all. I didn't even pay it no mind, so I'm not even gonna lie. But Percival, he's just weird, like legitimately weird. My man is extremely durable, extremely powerful, has access to this weird manipulation magic that happens to do anything and everything Percival could ever need. Like, he's a very interesting character to start with. I'll give him that. I like him a lot in the sense that he carries a lot of mystery to him, and I hope he matures. I hope his naivete like bites him in the butt. I'm not gonna lie. I hope he gets in trouble because of how trusting he is of people. Like, he pulls up to Leonis and Sin's like, well, sorry buddy, this was a trap, and then just ends up ruining him. So I wouldn't be shocked if Percival's naivete came to cost him one time after getting so much success with it. And I think that's appropriate. I think Nakaba will do that, because Nakaba, he knows what to do with characters. Then, speaking of characters, buff Donny, please. I think he's hilarious as like basically the Hawk of the group, aka useless. Like, he's like Hawk and Elizabeth fused together. Like, there's something distinct about how useless Donny is and how much I fear poor Donny's safety. Like, I just feel like my man's gonna get destroyed, but I like him. I think he's great. I don't like his color design. Like, y'all know that. I think his color design is so whack. I can't even imagine what that's gonna look like animated, if it does get animated. But outside of his color design, I think he has a fun personality. I think he has interesting powers. I think he has a good heart. And honestly, I hope he just gets stronger. Please, Nakaba, buff Donny. Buff him, please, for the sake of us Donny fans. Speaking of fans, Sin, my boy, I just don't trust you. But I like the mystery behind you. Are you a purgatory beast, or are you what y'all have been saying in the comment section, that he's possibly a transformed knight, maybe manipulated by one of the chaos staffs? I'm intrigued regardless. That seems super cool. I like Sin, even though I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and I like him way more than I like Hawk, mainly because while Hawk seemingly had like an annoying personality, and this is before I even heard Hawk in the anime, I just was reading the manga and I'm just like, I know I would prefer to have this pig spit roasted. And I honestly really enjoy Sin's purpose in the story so far, almost as like this all-knowing guide that you can't exactly trust, like an unreliable narrator, if that. Like, he's guiding them to Leonis, but we don't know anything about the world, so him supposedly knowing so much, him supposedly working with an organization, it could be good, it could be bad. I like the mystery. That's what I'm talking about. I love the juicy question asking I'm getting only 14 chapters in. And then, speaking of people who have grab my attention and grab my interest, shout out to the boy Nasians, bro. I'm not sure how I pronounce his name. I'm not even sure how his name is spelled, but honestly, he's really cool. I like him a lot. I think his color design is great. I think his character is great. I think honestly his backstory is super interesting, and it leaves enough like gaps in it. Like, it could either be a moot point or an interesting point, whether or not who his parentage is. He could just be nobody's kids, and it wouldn't even matter. That's fine. Or my boy could be the son of somebody important and he had to be cast away for his own safety or something like that. I don't know. Really interesting possible backstory. I like his drip. Obviously, my man's swagged out, one of the sauciest characters in the series. But on top of that, I like his story. Like, honestly, for a character who I at first didn't trust and thought he was like a vampire demon hybrid because your boy was fiending for some previous character stuff, I honestly was impressed with how much further we got into a character who went through some good suffering, who got to have his little happiness when he got his young papa back, his big grandpa Ordo, when he got him back out of that disgusting monster form. And honestly, I just really like it. I'm glad he's joined the squad, and I think his ability is super interesting. I can't wait to see what it does in the future, because I feel like it's such a distinct ability that has so much potential behind it that Nakaba wouldn't waste it, especially considering Nasians is part of the main squad now. So I feel like Nasians, he's gonna have a point. He's gonna be very relevant for the series, at least in terms of like what he provides to the group. And I hope he gets that spell book from Merlin, or poison book from Merlin, because we know she doesn't deserve it after all she's done. But after that, we have to hit on things that I still like, aka the mystery behind Ironside. Now, admittedly, I don't know anything about Arthurian mythology, but shout outs to y'all for letting me know that Ironside, the father of Percival, has 2 sons, at least in Arthurian mythology. Or y'all said Percival has a brother. And I already like Ironside more for that. Like, if he has multiple kids and like Percival just happens to be the one that had to get up out of here because Percival wasn't like official born or something like that, or like he wasn't what was supposed to happen, or he's artificial, something like that. Really interesting. Ironside, he's interesting to me, but not necessarily as a character. It's more so what his character represents in terms of like Arthur's world and stuff like that. But speaking of characters that represent Arthur's world, Pelgard's the best boy, hands down, undeniably. Pelgard is the best character in all of 7 Deadly Sins fame. Yes, I'm even saying Lord Tweet. No, I'm kidding. But the thing is, I love Pelgard the most. Like, honestly, this is probably gonna be but I really like Gloxinia as a villain. And I also really like Fraudrin. I also like Motionless Meliodas when he became a villain. And obviously Zeldris is a really good villain, but do I like aka Pelgard is up there in terms of like 7 Deadly Sins villains. Like the fame, like the entire series, off his few couple chapters, that man's so charismatic, he's so fun-loving, he's so interesting. Like, he's the one who initially even brought up the idea that knights could possibly be like hybrids or fusions, or at least stolen pieces of other races, when he brought out the blaze, the dark flame that won't extinguish. I like it. But that's what he did. He brought out a really cool ability that made me speculate a lot more about what Arthur the Madman has been doing in the past while. He brought out a much more interesting villain to hero dynamic by not actually wanting to execute the boy Percival like pretty much every other knight we've seen. He wants to actually train the boy. He wants to see how strong he can get. Pelgard's on that Saiyan mentality. buddy. I don't want to fight you till you're at your strongest, buddy. So let me run that fade. I also love how just playful he is. He has such a great personality, and I hope, like, it's gonna sound bad, I hope he keeps running into them, keeps whooping Percival, and it's kind of like just a checkpoint, because Pelgard obviously seems to be, and if not the strongest, one of the strongest knights we've seen so far. And while I know we've only seen 3, I still think, based on like all their interactions, like Talisker getting body bagged by still barely control of his magic Percival, versus Pelgard, who managed to not only just whoop Percival and completely ignore all his magic by just flexing a little bit, but he also managed to just pretty much mollywop Ironside. Like, I'm not even gonna, well, he didn't mollywop him, they didn't fight, but Ironside went out, grabbed his sword, swung on Pelgard, and Pelgard's like, come on now, buddy, I'm Pelgard, I'm the best character in this show. What do you think you're gonna do to me, bro? He was on that Axel mentality. I hate that line from KH3. Never mind. But basically, he knew that he was top dog. So I'm honestly super duper intrigued with Pelgard. I hope we get more of him. I hope he's like a check-in / stopgap. Even like, I hope he becomes Percival's teacher. If I'm being real, I hope he just drops in, is like, okay, I know you're one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, one of the 4 knights of the apocalypse. I also know that you're probably gonna be a threat to me, my kingdom, and my livelihood. However, I don't really care. I kind of just want smoke from a really good fighter, and Percival, you have the potential to be that. So let old Papa Pelgard train you up instead of Ironside just murdering you. And then they become teacher and student. I don't know, it'd be super cool to me. Really want to see more Pelgard. And yeah, I like the mystery. I already said that. So we get into what I don't like. Not much. Yeah, like legitimately not much. I think the series is fine. The only weakness I say it has as a sequel, especially one that has 7 Deadly Sins in its title over and over and over again, is that like the most 7 Deadly Sins reference we get is Cats, which is a grown-up version, not a grown-up version, literally a grown-up version of Cats from, I believe it was Peliodas' gang? Not Peliodas. Hold on. Peliot's gang. We know that's a grown-up, one of those kids basically grew up and that became Cats, but Cats got juked out the narrative so quickly. Pelgard bodied him, and then Donny, Sin, and Percival got him out of there, so I doubt we're gonna see them for a long while. And then we just keep getting mentions and dribbles and whispers of like Arthur and Merlin. And not gonna lie, those are 2 of my, like, not necessarily least favorite, because there's some characters, Hawk, but there's some characters from the original series I like a lot less than them, but they're the ones I care about the least. Like, I'm trying to know how my boy Meliodas is doing, I'm trying to see what Bond's doing, I'm trying to see what King's doing, I'm trying to see what Diane's doing, but now we get, like, none of that. And another close link we have is Dolores. Yeah, y'all managed to fully convince me, I'm just dumb. But the thing is, since that's Dolores, I mean, it makes me raise questions like, I mean, we don't know if she's not at the wedding in the movie. But like, Dolores, you're seriously gonna hide out for that long? Really? Really? You aren't even gonna go check on Diane? Okay, whatever. Whatever, do you, Dolores. And I guess that's the only thing I don't like. I don't like Dolores. Dolores is whack. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, I think the only issue that Fortnite the Apocalypse has is that it's a sequel to 7 Deadly Sins. And thus, no matter how excited I am to turn the page for Nasian's, Percival, Donny, and Sin's misadventures, like, I'm always just like itching, fiending for a taste of the original series. That's the only issue I have. That's the only issue, because it's like every time I hear a whiff of any character I actually know from the previous series, I'm like, and like completely drags me out of the chapter, because I'm thinking back to the good old days when they were the main characters. But that's not even a problem I can really hold against the series. I guess that's the good thing. Honestly, it'd be am I really gonna say this? Like, it may be better. I'm not sure how deep Nakaba's gonna go into like previous lore with Fortnite the Apocalypse, considering he's basically in a point where he has to expand. He can't really go back anymore, at least as far as I'm concerned. We're a few years too late. But if we're talking about it, I feel like it would honestly be better to read Fortnite the Apocalypse first, and then afterwards get full context, at least when it's coming out. While it's coming out, you may not want to read 7 Deadly Sins if you haven't. But like, I feel like if all of us here had to have read 7 Deadly Sins, so it's too late for us. But yeah, that's basically the only issue I think the series actually has as a series. Like, Nakaba lost none of his artistic talent from his improvement through 7 Deadly Sins. Everything still looks great. He may have lost his coloring talent, but that's something completely different. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, honestly, I don't really see many problems with the series. Of course, we're only 14 chapters in and things could change. I guess the only other problem you could say is like Percival seems a bit too powerful, but once again, if you're at 7 Deadly Sins, you're used to your main characters being a bit too powerful for the main plot. So honestly, that's the thing. The only thing I would recommend, if you were recommending the series to anybody, especially if they read Seven Deadly Sins, is tell them, at least so far, do not expect Seven Deadly Sins 2. Do not expect just a continuation based off last series story. It's not that. Honestly, I don't think we're going to get that for a while. I feel like we're not going to reach Leona for a while. So just tell them it's a similar story, told in a different way. Some different characters, and we'll have a fun time. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Fantasy the Apocalypse so far. It's a good series about... Honestly, there hasn't necessarily been much or any actually story problems considering we're so small scale right now. So yeah, I mean, has a ton of mystery to it, has a ton of great characters in it, has one of the best villains in the entire series just so early on. Honestly, just recommend the series. I keep saying yeah, honestly, but that's what I'm talking about. Recommend the series. It's probably a solid 8 out of 10 right now. I'm not sure what it's missing. I think it's missing some tie-ins. Like, I don't want to take points away from the series based on the fact that it's a Seven Deadly Sins sequel, and like Nakaba said, it's almost completely disconnected from the original. But darn it, like I'm being petty. It's an 8. It's an 8. You want to know why? Because it's just not giving me what I want. Nah, but that's neither here nor there. It's probably like an actual solid 9 series. Just off the great artwork, the great character design, the great storytelling so far, all of that, all the character design on like the actual character standpoint too. I really like it a lot. I think we have a ton of mystery and I can't wait. Really solid opening for a series, probably like a 10 out of 10 opening for a series with all the mystery that's built up over this 14 chapter period. Can't wait for more. Can't wait for it to come back next week. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Now, tell me what you think about Fantasy Apocalypse in the comment section down below. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, especially as a lot of you are like me. We've read Seven Deadly Sins first, and we were waiting for Fantasy Apocalypse as a sequel. So what do you think about Fantasy Apocalypse? I want to hear all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos that come out on the channel. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.